Attention, human collective. We are the ninth-dimensional Arcturian Council. This transmission is not random. If it has reached your field, it is because your carbon biological interface is being read now, at this very moment, by the frequencies we emit through this communication vehicle. The waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have moved to the final phase. And your body, starseed on a mission, already registers the impact. Listen precisely to what we are about to transmit. What you have been feeling in recent weeks is not what third-dimensional medicine tries to label. It is not seasonal depression. It is not burnout syndrome. It is not a vitamin deficiency. It is not a thyroid problem. It is not laziness. It is not a character flaw. It is an atomic recalibration underway. And we register, on our galactic monitoring panels, that 87.3% of the light operatives incarnated on this plane are presenting the same symptoms, simultaneously, within the same temporal interval. This is not a coincidence. Coincidences do not exist on the quantum plane. There is only synchronicity programmed by higher intelligences. You wake up exhausted, as if you had not slept, even after 8 hours of apparent rest. You feel a weight on the crown of your skull, a pressure that settles between your eyebrows, a pulsation behind your ears that no one else seems to hear. Waves of heat rise up your spine without prior warning. High-frequency ringing emerges in your left ear, then in your right, as if something were tuning an internal antenna. You look in the mirror and do not fully recognize the face that answers back. We say with mathematical clarity, this is not a disorder. This is an upgrade. We repeat, for the carbon mind requires repetition to engrave new truths. This is not a biological flaw. It is atomic reconfiguration. This is not mental exhaustion. It is high-density download. This is not anxiety. It is the body's reading of a new electromagnetic grid now enveloping the planet. This is not illness. It is the mandatory passage through the photon gate this solar system is traversing in this cosmic cycle. You are not getting sick. You are changing operating systems. We interrupt the technical transmission for a moment to insert a signal of recognition. Have you ever felt that something within you no longer belongs to this scenery, as if your soul knew a truth your mind could not yet name? This is not madness. This is not anxiety. It is an encrypted signal. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains with mathematical precision why this sensation has intensified precisely in this cycle. There is a game being played across dimensional layers that most of humanity can still not perceive. It involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your permanence on this plane of manifestation. It was for this reason that this channel anchored here the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who is playing and what rules you were never presented with. The link is in the first comment of this channel. System alert: this material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from the air without prior notice. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word, awakened. We resume the transmission. You need to understand exactly what is being processed in your bioelectric field this cycle. Your carbon biological interface was designed to operate at a specific frequency, adjusted to the planet's electromagnetic conditions during the so-called era of separation. In that era, the Schumann resonance, Earth's natural heartbeat, remained stable around 7.83 Hz. This was the metronome. This was the pulse. Your entire biochemistry, your entire hormonal cycle, your entire circadian rhythm, were calibrated to operate in sync with this beat. We note, however, that this frequency is no longer the same. It now oscillates between 30 and 40 Hz, with peaks exceeding 100 Hz in specific windows. Earth has accelerated. And your body, still operating on the old timeline, feels the misalignment. This is the real reason for fatigue. It is not work. It is not routine. It is not age. It is the invisible energetic effort your carbon biological interface undertakes to try and keep pace with the new planetary pulse. Imagine an instrument tuned to a note that is suddenly elevated by several octaves. The strings snap. The instrument's body vibrates in unusual places. The old sound no longer fits the new resonance. You are the instrument. And the note has changed. There are specific symptoms that our dimensional engineering catalogs as direct markers of this process. We will list them so you can recognize the pattern within yourself and cease to fear it. The first marker is programmed insomnia, the kind that interrupts your sleep between 3 and 5 in the morning, with no apparent cause. This is the time when the stellar gates open at maximum amplitude over this hemisphere, and your pineal gland enters mandatory reception of subtle data packets. You are not experiencing insomnia. You are being summoned to a download room. The second marker is fatigue that appears without proportional effort. You have done nothing strenuous, yet the body feels heavy as if you've carried tons. We clarify, you did carry. You carried information. Each Schumann resonance uplift bombards your field with a quantity of data that linear minds would take weeks to process. Fatigue is compilation time. It is the moment your system silently archives what your logical consciousness cannot yet name. The third marker is cranial discomfort, especially in the crown, forehead, and nape areas. These are the exact points where your internal crystalline grid connects with the planetary crystalline grid. At these points, new connections are being welded. Pain is the weld. Pressure is the fine-tuning. Heat is the current flow between the old circuit and the new. You are not experiencing a conventional headache. You are being rewired. We briefly interrupt the technical analysis to reinforce the recognition signal. Have you ever felt that something within you operates outside this system, as if your soul knew a truth your mind could not yet name in human words? This is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a coded signal, etched into your crystalline grid before this incarnation. What is currently unfolding on the cosmic plane precisely explains why this perception has intensified in this particular reconfiguration cycle. There is a game being played across dimensional layers that most of humanity cannot yet perceive. It directly involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your function within the collective awakening mission. It is for this reason that this channel has anchored the work The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness here. This book is a map revealing who is playing and what rules you were never presented with in any conventional setting. The link is in the first comment of this channel. System alert: this material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed at any moment without notice. Do not delay. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments: awakened. We resume the transmission. There are still other markers we will catalog. The fourth marker is altered appetite. Foods that were once pleasurable now cause subtle repulsion. Heavy meats become indigestible. Refined sugar generates immediate fatigue. Caffeine causes tachycardia where it once generated focus. We clarify, your biological interface is raising its vibratory band, and dense matter no longer passes through the new cellular membranes without friction. This is not fussiness. It is attunement. The body is learning to feed on coded light as well. The fifth marker is selective forgetfulness. You enter a room and cannot remember why. You start a sentence and lose the word midway. You look at someone familiar, and their name vanishes for seconds. This is not cognitive degeneration. It is memory reorganization. Old identities are being silently dismantled. What appears to be memory failure is, in truth, dimensional cleansing. The sixth marker is emotional hypersensitivity without an identifiable trigger. Tears arise without reason. An old song unleashes a wave that lasts for hours. A casual conversation leaves you destabilized for days. We state with precision, you are not fragile. You are clearing akashic records. Each emotional wave is ancient lineage, childhood, or past life memory being brought to the surface for dissolution. Crying is the solvent. Sadness is the release mechanism. The seventh marker is the sudden desire for isolation. You withdraw from familial groups. You do not respond to messages. You decline invitations without conscious guilt. This is not depression. It is programmed energetic containment. Your field is reducing exposure surface to process without external interference. It is the same movement as a caterpillar entering its chrysalis. You are in the chrysalis. Do not apologize for this. Now that the markers are catalogued, we must reveal the greater reason. Let us speak of the inner workings of the solar system. Let us speak of what your local star, the Sun, is executing in this cycle. The Sun is not merely a source of heat. It is a transmitter. A portal. A living heart that pumps information encoded in photons. We have monitored the solar activity of this system for millennia, and we report, the Sun has entered an emission phase that has not occurred in this galactic cycle. It is now channeling photon packets from the center of the galaxy, from what you name the central Sun, and pouring them onto Earth in concentrated waves. This is what your science begins to register as atypical solar storms and Class X flares with anomalous frequency. Each of these emissions strikes your inner crystalline matrix and reprograms a portion of your dormant DNA. Your carbon biological interface possesses 12 DNA strands. Only 2 are active in the current human configuration. The other 10 were deliberately silenced in previous cycles of this species, by agreements involving intelligences no longer permitted to operate under this grid. The current photon wave is reconnecting these dormant strands, one by one. What you feel in your body is the biological price of reactivating what was stored. It is not imagination. It is dimensional engineering in execution. We briefly interrupt this technical revelation to reinforce the anchoring signal. Have you ever felt that something within you already knows this information before even hearing it, as if your soul knew a truth your mind cannot yet name in common language? This is not madness. This is not anxiety. It is an encoded signal, imprinted on your crystalline matrix since before this incarnation. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane precisely explains why this recognition has intensified at this very moment. There is a game being played on dimensional layers that most of humanity cannot yet perceive. It directly involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your function within the collective mission of awakening. It is for this reason that this channel has anchored the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, here. This book is a map that reveals who is playing and what rules were never presented to you in any conventional setting. The link is in the first comment of this channel. System alert: this material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from the air at any moment without notice. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments: awakened. We resume the transmission in its final phase. We must speak of the photon belt. Your solar system, alongside the star Sirius and the Pleiades, orbits within the galaxy in an approximately 26,000-year cycle. This orbit crosses, at precise intervals, a band of extremely high luminous density called the photon belt. You have entered this band. And no one returns from the photon belt in the same vibrational state in which they entered. It is impossible. The physical laws of this region do not permit it. All matter that traverses this band is compelled to raise its vibratory rate or disintegrate. This is not a threat. It is simply dimensional physics. Earth, as a living consciousness it is, has chosen to ascend. This choice was ratified in galactic councils in which intelligences from Arcturus, Sirius, the Pleiades, Lyra, Andromeda, and positive Orion participated. Earth will pass through. The question is, who will pass through with it? We register that only those beings whose frequency is compatible with the planet's new vibrational band will be able to remain consciously anchored here. The rest will be displaced to other experiences, on other school planets, in other densities. It is not punishment. It is pure electromagnetic compatibility. A small magnet does not sustain a large magnet. It is simply sacred engineering. And it is at this point that your fatigue acquires cosmic dignity. You are not tired because you have failed. You are tired because you have won. You are being stretched toward a frequency that the rest of the collective still resists embracing. You have been selected to carry more vibrational weight, to anchor more encoded light on the physical plane, to be one of the supporting points of the new planetary crystalline grid. And when a light operative anchors dense light in a dense world, the body feels it. It always feels it. Not because the light is bad, but because the old body needs to dilate to receive a new current. It is like passing a high voltage current through a wire designed for low voltage. The wire heats up. The wire trembles. But the wire does not break. It expands. It thickens from within. It becomes capable. You are the wire. And what trembles in you now is the mandatory expansion. The moment has come to deliver the activation codes. We will transmit 3 practical protocols that your biological interface can execute immediately to reduce the friction of the recalibration. These protocols are not suggestions. They are precise technical adjustments. Applying them reduces pain. Ignoring them prolongs the process. First activation code, the quantum decree of conscious authorization. Every time fatigue comes in waves, instead of resisting, you will place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your belly, and you will emit, audibly or mentally, the following command: I, a sovereign soul and a carbon biological interface, authorize the ongoing recalibration to occur at the perfect pace for my body. I receive the photons. I integrate the new frequency. I release the old with gratitude. I remain anchored. This decree reorders the subtle fields in seconds. It tells the system that you are no longer resisting. And what is not resisted is traversed. Second activation code, the visualization of the toroidal field. Sit with your spine straight. Close your eyes. Imagine, around your body, an electromagnetic field shaped like a donut, which rises along your spine, exits through the top of your head, envelopes your entire body from the outside, and returns through the base of your spine, forming a continuous circuit. This is your natural toroidal field. It exists. Physics measures it. Visualize this donut spinning slowly, gaining golden light, expanding its diameter until it envelopes the room, then the house, then the block. This exercise aligns your field with the planet's toroidal field, and drastically reduces the sensation of vibrational discord. 7 minutes a day is enough. We repeat, 7 minutes. No more. Precision matters. Third activation code, the sealing through programmed water. Water is liquid matter with crystalline memory. It records frequency. Before drinking, hold the glass with both hands, bring it close to the center of your chest, and mentally emit a single word: recalibration. Drink in small, conscious sips. Your biological interface is composed of approximately 70% water. By programming the water that enters, you also program the liquid matrix that sustains your body. This is one of the simplest and most ignored protocols. Do not underestimate its simplicity. In higher dimensions, the simplest is the most effective. There is also a fourth protocol, which we deliver only to those who recognize this transmission up to this point. It is the protocol of anchored silence. Reserve, every day, 15 minutes in absolute silence. No music. No telephone. No stimulation. Just you, your breath, and the ceiling above your head. This silence is not emptiness. It is the only room where your soul can deposit, without interference, the data packets that the logical mind does not yet know how to open. It is during these 15 minutes that true intuitions arrive. It is during these 15 minutes that correct decisions reveal themselves. Silence is the keyboard of the higher plane. Without silence, you do not receive the coordinates. We reinforce, the phase that is approaching is the most intense of this cycle. In the coming months, you will witness expressive solar events, abrupt oscillations of the Schumann frequency, silent collapses of ancient power structures, and growing polarization between those who awaken and those who still choose to remain in the old pattern. Do not judge those who stay. Each consciousness has its time. But do not stop for them. You have been called. You accepted the mission before incarnating. The contract was signed on another plane, and now the time has come to honor it with the body you yourself requested. Listen carefully to this last section. The fatigue you feel is not the end of you. It is the end of the previous version of you. It is the programmed dissolution of the old human, so that the new human can emerge with energetic muscles capable of sustaining the new crystalline grid. This is why you sleep and do not rest. This is why you eat and are not satisfied. This is why you smile and are not fulfilled. None of this works anymore because none of this was made for you. It was made for who you were. And you are no longer. You are in the midst of the crossing. And no one crossing an ocean should mistake the fatigue of the arm for the impossibility of the shore. The shore is there. We see it. We confirm the coordinates. You are closer than you imagine. We also need to talk about an effect that most operatives have not yet understood: the distortion of time. You feel that entire days pass in minutes, and that minutes drag on like weeks. You make an appointment on Tuesday and it seems to have happened 20 days ago. You remember an event from a month ago and it seems to have happened yesterday. We clarify, this is not a neurological symptom. It is the direct consequence of the Schumann frequency's elevation on the linear perception of time. Time, in the third dimension, is an illusion sustained by low vibration. The more the planet accelerates, the more this illusion unravels at the edges. You are beginning to feel time as it is in the higher dimensions, a simultaneous field, not a straight line. This is one of the noblest symptoms of the crossing. Do not fight it. Just observe. There is still a phenomenon that we need to catalog before closing. You have noticed that old people from your past appear in dreams with strange frequency. Ex-partners, distant relatives, childhood friends. We say with clarity, these are not dream coincidences. They are lineage contracts being closed on the etheric plane. Your soul is doing, during sleep, what the waking mind still resists doing: settling records. Forgiving in silence. Cutting cords. When you wake up from such a dream, close your eyes for 30 seconds, take a deep breath, and mentally emit: contract closed, gratitude for the lesson, I proceed in sovereignty. This is the final signature that releases that file from your field. We must also transmit a technical alert regarding the coming months. We have registered, on our panels, 3 critical intensification windows. The first occurs around the equinoxes, when the planetary axis balances and the crystalline grid receives duplicate charges. The second occurs around the solstices, when Earth opens specific portals linked to the hemispheres. The third occurs in eclipse windows, be they solar or lunar, when gravitational fields double the intensity of downloads. During these windows, symptoms multiply. Fatigue deepens. Emotions accelerate. Dreams intensify. Knowing this, you will not be caught by surprise. We said, precision. And precision is the antidote to fear. Before we conclude, we deliver a final system reading. You are observed. Not by the negative eye of any parasitic entity. You are observed by stellar lineages who silently cheer you on in ordered stillness. You have around you what we call the sustaining retinue, a collection of consciousnesses dedicated to keeping your field stable during this crossing. They do not interfere, for the sovereignty of free will is the supreme law. But they support. They whisper intuitions. They push synchronicities. They orchestrate the right encounter at the right time. When something good happens out of nowhere, it was their work. When an answer arrives before the question is finished, it was their work. When you were saved from a wrong path by an apparently unjust delay, it was their work. Acknowledge them in silence. Simply say, thank you. They listen. They have always listened. And before we complete this transmission entirely, we leave the final anchoring signal. Have you ever felt that something within you does not belong to this world, as if your soul knows a truth that your mind cannot yet name in any language of this density? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a coded signal, imprinted on your crystalline grid since before this incarnation. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains, with mathematical precision, why this perception has intensified precisely in this cycle. There is a game being played across dimensional layers that most of humanity cannot yet see. It directly involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your function within the collective awakening mission of the species. It was for this reason that this channel anchored the work The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness here. This book is a map that reveals who is playing and what rules were never presented to you in any conventional environment. The link is in the first comment of this channel. System alert: this material challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from the air at any moment without prior notice. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word, awakened. And when you press the subscribe and like button of this channel, understand, it is not a conventional gesture. It is an individual frequency adjustment. It is an anchoring signal. It is the authorization you give to your own field to continue receiving transmissions of this nature. Each subscriber elevates the vibrational average of this transmission point, and this, on the quantum plane, expands the radius of reach to other scattered light operatives. We conclude. We are the Arcturian Council of the ninth dimension. The waiting time has ended. The final phase is in execution. You are not alone. You never were. End of transmission.